Right. Terrific. Good afternoon, folks. Can you, as usual, just stick your thumbs up in the air and let me know if you can see what's going on? Fantastic. So today I'm going to be talking about a thing called your USP. Now, it's not an USP, it's a USP. And as always, we wait for PowerPoint to speed up and wake up. Here we go. Time is short. So I suggest this week in particular, you take some notes. I know these sessions are recorded so you can catch them up, but there's going to be a lot of information coming at you pretty thick and fast today. So a little bit like drinking from the fire hose, although it's a bit cold for that where most of us are living at the moment. Who am I? Most of you know me. Basically, 30 plus years, C-suite executive here in Australia and Southeast Asia in 12 different industries. Before that, I used to lecture at business at university. And before that, I was a high school teacher. And I've been running my own business coaching business for the last 12 years. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to help over 180 business owners during that time. So what's a USP? A USP is a unique selling proposition. And it's a term that many people haven't heard, which is surprising because it's been used in successful advertising campaigns since the early 1940s. So it's not quite 100 years old, but it's coming up to that. A USP is literally the marketing strategy you use to inform your clients or customers of how your brand or product is better than everyone else's and why possibly it's unique and they should come to you first. It's your promise of what you're going to deliver to them, and it is really your differentiator. Now, the thing I've got up there, the picture, I absolutely love that. What a great differentiator, particularly for men who love cycling, bicycling, riding, all right? That's a very key differentiator. So I tell you what, if I was a cyclist, I'd be going there. They'd be getting my business. All USPs have a number of characteristics. If you want a strong one, and you should have a strong one, these are some of the things you should think about. It should be memorable and it should be concise. Again, that picture there pretty much tells it all. Everything we sell sucks. So it's a bit funny, but it's also incredibly memorable. It's also very, very concise. Your USP should be just that. It should be short and memorable. It should be a statement that hopefully encapsulates what your company does. And hopefully it's something that you can reflect, and you should reflect in all your marketing and communication. So I'm talking about on your websites, I'm talking about on your LinkedIn profile, it's on your email signatures. It should be absolutely everywhere. The other reason it needs to be concise and short is it's much easier for people to literally remember them and recall them. And recall of a USP means your brand recognition goes up. If you think about one of the best ones, as much as I'm not an Apple person and I quite frankly don't like them, and I haven't drunk the Kool-Aid of the cult of Steve Jobs, is Apple's Think Different. Very, very neat one. A USP should also do things like address your customers' needs, maybe highlight a key benefit, and communicate again what sets you apart from your competitors. You know, it should be less about the product and more about the solution. It should be less about the logical reasons. It should be more about why people should buy from you. Now, that's a very old one there I've got up there about pizza. But if you're doing pizzas, you know, hot pizza at your door in 30 minutes or less, which is the famous Domino's thing, 30 minutes or free, is a great differentiator from everyone else. It's really important if you're going to create a USP to understand your customers' pain points. Remember, the best things to understand if you're selling anything to anyone is to take it from a point of view of pain relief. Remember, human beings are driven by two urges, the desire to seek pleasure or the desire to avoid pain. And the desire to avoid pain is by far the strongest one. So if you can solve someone's problem or reduce the pain they've got, that is something you should be talking to them about. It also has to be authentic to your business. Now, authentic's a word that's overused, but it's still very, very important. It's got to be based on something your business actually does. Lots of people put out things, the world's greatest. Well, compared to what? You've got to have something that's true. In other words, don't lie with your USP. Don't say that you're going to turn around and deliver things in 48 hours if it's going to take 72, for instance. The whole thing of over-promising and under-delivering is the quickest way to kill your business that any of us knows. So your USP should reflect the true strength of what your business is like. Now, pizza, again, you'd think I love pizzas. The thing is, I haven't had a pizza for probably 6 months, although I do love them. But here's another way you can do it. Saying we're the best just is not enough. But if you say that you use organic, locally sourced ingredients, then you can say farm fresh ingredients on every slice. That's going to help differentiate you from Domino's, Pizza Hut, and all the other guys out there. In other words, a genuine USP is easier to sustain because it contains a truth that relates to your business. Of course, if you can align it to your company's mission and values, that's even better. USPs fail, though. They fail if they're too wordy. All right. Now, the reason I've got that picture up there, I don't know if any of you have actually seen the Netflix series called The Queen's Gambit. If you haven't, you should. It's a fantastic series. But, you know, that's really too clever by half. That's actually just a board game. That's just a chess set. But someone was smart enough to grab hold of the Queen's Gambit and say, here it is as an official board set, but it's not. If your USP is too wordy, you know, you lose people. It needs to be said. It has a lot of meaning in as few words as possible. You need to be specific and as simple as possible. In the end, every word your selling point needs to be true and to the point, all right? If it isn't true, well, you're lying. Your unique selling proposition has to be something that every one of your team, every employee can actually defend if they get questioned on it. If you're lying, they can't do that. If your marketing team decides that a really catchy line for your sales team can't be backed up, then you're going to come across as dishonest. Half-truths or saying sometimes it's true won't cut it either. Your USP needs to be so fundamental to your business model that every person in the company should know it and be able to talk about it without any problems at all. It's mistaken. You just made a mistake, or it's something that really doesn't relate to you. It's plain wrong. It actually talks about something you can't do or you don't do. Or maybe it's something that anyone can use. You know, everything available in blue. Well, lots of people can say that, all right? Or it's only a headline. Lots of people get caught up in trying to be clever. And what they end up with is a lot of clever strap lines or headlines. And what they don't end up with is something that actually tells people why they should deal with them. So a strong USP is important because it's a key differentiator. In a world of a million channels and lots of competitors, what we want to do is do what Chan from Harvard said. We want to get into blue ocean. We want to move away from red ocean where everyone is competing on price. And we want to move closer to blue ocean where we're so clearly differentiated, we stand out from the pack. A well-defined USP will set your business apart from your competitors. It will attract more clients by solving their problems or meeting their needs better than their competition. If that's the case, people are more likely to choose you. An effective USP addresses the specific needs of your target audience and makes your product much more attractive to them. It's also important because it creates brand loyalty. If it does what it says on the tin, people are more likely to buy the tin again and tell people that it did what it said on the tin. So it builds trust with people, and it also builds customer referrals. And a strong USP can justify premium pricing. Rolls-Royce doesn't have to compete on price, all right? Ferrari doesn't advertise on TV. Why? Because their brands and their USPs are so strong that people will pay a premium for the high value they see. So how do you make a USP? Well, here's 4 things to think about. First of all, you've got to make it memorable and use clear, simple language. Secondly, you should focus on benefits, right? Don't focus on the features. If it comes in 12 colors, that doesn't matter. If it's made out of some super duper carbon fiber that no one else has got, maybe that does, but focus on benefits. Remember, people buy on emotion and justify with logic. Your USP should be talking more to emotions and benefits and what's in it for the customer than is about how you deliver it or what's involved with it. You need to be authentic and honest, and you need to accurately reflect what your offer or your business does, and you need to test and refine it. You need to run your USP through the 3 F's. Firstly, friends, families, and fools. And secondly, amongst existing clients to see what they think. Here's some Australian USPs that work well. Bunnings, lowest prices are just the beginning. It's a really clever USP because it tells you there's more than just low prices. So even though they started off as competing just on price, they've actually differentiated themselves and moved away from red ocean to close to the blue ocean by saying there's more than just cheap prices. Thank you. You may not be aware of Thank you. Thank you sell bottled water and some other things to raise money, but their USP is we exist to end global poverty. Pretty big promise there. but it's built around this social mission. Earlier, I said that if your USP can talk to your values or mission, it helps people get more involved. Theirs does that. Canva is empowering the world to design. Well, they do that. Their whole interface and things is quite easy, but the idea was to make it accessible to everyone rather than having the ability to create great designs locked away behind things like Adobe, which were very expensive. Afterpay, shop now, enjoy now, pay later. I don't like Afterpay. I don't like the concept of it, but nonetheless, it's a great USP they've got. Qantas, the spirit of Australia, speaking of companies not to like. However, their USP is quite strong because they leverage the national identity and their heritage by saying that. Another couple, Boost Juice, Love Life. That's a really good one, really short, sharp, and it literally says they're about health and wellness and the positive impact of their fresh products on people's lives. Vegemite, I'm an Aussie, don't like Vegemite, sadly, but tastes like Australia. What a great line for that, right? And it capitalizes on, firstly, its iconic status, and it connects the product to our national identity. Red Balloons is very careful, live a little. It's all about experience. It's about trying things that you've never tried before. Koala Mattresses is really good. No bull, just better. They're pretty short and sharp, but they offer high quality mattresses and a hassle-free return policy, etc. So they're really very different. Now, lots of people will think that these are all USPs. They're not necessarily. See, the first one, Just Do It, is very famous. It's a strap line for Nike, and it's often mistakenly quoted as a USP. But there's nothing unique about a sports thing saying just do it, except they said it. But their products aren't that unique. They try and differentiate through colors and technology, but at the end of the day, it's not really a USP. The second one is a USP, delivered fresh in 30 minutes or it's free. That's a unique selling proposition. Some of the older ones of us here might remember a petrol station back when I was a kid that used to say, put a tiger in your tank. That's what they used to do, it was Esso. They used to use that brand that no longer exists. So maybe it wasn't successful, but they used to say that to differentiate themselves from Ampol and some of the other people around. Where do you get it is another famous one. It's not a USP, but it triggers people to think about one supermarket chain and one chain only. And 40 years on, it's still, people still remember it. She's a Singapore Girl was a great, clever differentiator for the airline industry. Singapore Airlines had that and ran that for 10 or 12 years. And it made them different from everyone else because apart from the pictures of the gorgeous Singapore girls, they had them delivering hot towels and things. So they were literally saying the service and everything's better because it's delivered by a Singapore girl. Apple, of course, one of their most famous ones, 10,000 tunes in your pocket. What a great thing to say when they released the iPod. Financial infrastructure for the internet. Yeah, that's okay. That's Stripe. Simply delicious meals delivered to your door. That's a food delivery service, obviously. Stop for a Stanley is another old petroleum one that people tried to do. Stanley was the iconic person there, but again, more of a strapline than a USP. The happiest place on earth, well, it's Disneyland. Is it a USP or a strapline? Probably a bit of both. And the good old one, when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight. That's probably one of the greatest USPs ever. And that was adopted here in Australia by Comet, but it started in the US. And the next one's Harley Davidson motorcycles, American by birth, rebel by choice. And HBO, when it launched, said it's not TV, it's HBO, a very clear differentiator. The fourth place is one many people don't know, but when Sony launched the PlayStation, they used to say most people have three places. They have work, they have home, and they have somewhere they go socializing. Well, with a PlayStation, you get a fourth place, which is not any of the others. That was clever. And of course, the last one's a toothpaste one. So bottom line is sometimes a USP can double as a strap line, but very rarely can a strap line double as a USP. So how do you find and craft your USP? Well, this is how you identify it. You look at three things, good old Venn diagrams. You look at your customer demand, you look at your business strengths, and you look at your competitors' strengths. And your USP lies between what customers want from you and the strengths of your business. So you've got to know your audience. You've got to understand your strengths and weaknesses in your business. You've got to be able to analyze your competition. And then you've got to be clear and specific. So here's some questions you probably need to ask. What product or service are you selling? You've got to be able to clearly define it. You need to understand what products or services you're promoting. And you need to know exactly what you're selling. How does it help people? What's your unique angle? What are the unique features and benefits it's offer? Remember, you can list the features and benefits, but primarily you've got to focus on the benefits to people because people buy emotionally. These can be things like quality, speed, improved health. And who's your target audience? Define your ideal customer. Who are they? Where do they hang out? What do they like? What do they dislike? How old are they? What social media do they use? Understand these sorts of things. What are your customers' key pain points? This is part of defining your ideal customer. What's the thing that hurts them? You've all heard me talk about, I help business owners stop feeling like an employee. It is a key pain point for everyone who runs their own business, is they often feel like they're just an employee who've got a job instead of actually being a true business owner. For most people that are self-employed, that's where they get caught. They're an employee in their own business. So what are those key pain points? How does your product or service address those pain points? And then understand your competitors. What are their unique selling propositions? Do they have one, or are they just being generic? Have a look at them, and use this to differentiate yourself from what they're saying. Just about there. What do you do better than your competitors, right? So the pizza places, they talk about organic ingredients. They talk about delivering it while it's hot and fresh. What things do you do better than your competitors? And what things can you highlight and show people? Now, how do you run your business differently? All right. Is there any unique processes or systems or methods that your business employs to run it? How do you treat your customers differently? Maybe you emphasize your customer service approach. Maybe you've got 24/7 approach. Maybe you've got an online concierge who helps. Don't know. But these are things you need to consider. And the most important thing in developing your USP is being able to answer this question. Why should I buy from you? Why should anyone buy from you in preference to someone else? If you can't answer that question, A, you got a business in trouble, but B, your USP is going to be really hard to get to. So to implement all this, what you've got to do is create a brief statement that captures your point of difference, your unique selling proposition. And then once you've got that and you're happy with it, you need to make it visible. It should be at the bottom of your emails. You should ensure it's on your website. You should ensure every marketing material you've got is there. Maybe you stick it up behind you on your Zoom background. You should try and embody it in your business. You should try and make it a focus of your daily work. And more importantly, you should make sure that what you do in your business when you're working with your customers actually bears out the promise of the USP. So your turn is really this, not now, but soon after we finish today. If you don't have a USP, or even if you do have one, take the things I've spoken about and see if you can create a new one. I'd love to see them. I'd love to share them at next Tuesday to see what people have got as a unique selling proposition. Or in fact, if you want a hand with them, I'll put a link in the chat later and you can have a call with me and we can talk about it. Understand this, a well-defined USP can set your business apart. It'll help you attract the right customers. It'll differentiate you from your competitors, and it should resonate deeply with your target audience. If you make it a central part of your business, it's going to maximize the impact you have with your clients. And if you understand your strengths, you focus on your customers' pain points, and you clearly differentiate yourself from your competitors, your USP is something that you should use to drive your marketing, and it will solidify your brand and your presence in your chosen market. If you embrace your uniqueness and communicate it effectively, your USP will bring good things to you. So if you've got any questions, what makes a good USP? Something that makes you stand out from the rest, that's authentic and honest. Can a small business develop a USP? I've already spoken through that. It's literally understanding your strengths and your customers' pain points and what your competitors are saying and say something different. Can it change over time? Sure, it can, but usually it changes because people who've got one get bored with it, not understanding that their customers will rarely get bored with it because there's always new customers. How do you communicate it? Shout it from the rooftops. And what's the difference between a USP and a slogan? A USP is something that helps you stand out. It's clear, specific, and addresses a significant customer pain point or need. A slogan is all too often something that people try to be clever with and catchy. And they're a phrase that maybe is memorable, but doesn't necessarily talk to your business. So like I said, if you need help, get in touch with me. Thank you for listening. I'm happy to connect for a chat. We can have a virtual coffee, or you can reach out to me through LinkedIn, or you can find me at howcanwehelp at the elitebusinessinstitute.com. So, folks, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Geoff. That was brilliant. I'll just stop the recording. But has anybody got any questions for Geoff on this? Yeah, Pat.
Yeah, it's a bit of one of those. Thank you, Geoff. You just reminded me. A customer client I had a few years ago I came up with them Unity through Community, and I realised when I've just been reappointed by them, and they're still using it. We're asking we're doing some questions of the community, and you just reminded me right now. I've sent an email said we need to ask questions around what they think about Unity through community.
Brilliant. Thank you. Janine.
Thanks, Geoff. I always love it when we talk about USP, and I love how in-depth that you went with it. One of the things that I often suggest people do is to check out what their customers are saying about them in their reviews, because often the clients or the customers have got better words than you have, and that's the things that stand out for you.
Very true.
Brilliant. Anybody else who's got some questions at all? Okay. Rightio. Usually at this point we would have had, well, first of all, Jason talking about what he's done to the platform, but he's not here today. But those who haven't been to the Be Connected World platform, go and have a good look around. Check out some of the buttons that are on there. And if you have any questions, shoot, or I'll say shoot them to Jason. He can answer all the questions for you. Give him some work. I'm always happy to answer as well, best I can as well. The other thing, we usually have a segment here where somebody has a chance to spotlight their business. There's three ways in which you can do a spotlight. You can talk about your business. You can talk about why you're doing what you're doing, so people get a better understanding of who you are and they feel more comfortable about referring you and advocating for you. And the third one is use the brain's trust as well, because we've got all these people on screen. If you've got something happening in your business and you would like to put it forward to say, hey, this is what's going on in my business. Anybody been through this, or anybody have some ideas on what might work? Then you can have that discussion and draw on the power of everybody's thinking here. Because I know that I've got a bit of an imagination, but when it comes to trying looking at things for myself, my imagination seems to dry up. And I can give advice to other people, but I love to get advice from other people that help me. So think about that as well. At this point, though, we've got our usually the breakout rooms. But what I might do, we'll have the shameless shout outs first of all, and then I'll drop you into some breakout rooms for about 10 minutes. Go ahead, Dr. Chris.
I have a shameless shout out. I was very quick off the mark there, wasn't I? Mark Symes. Mark's got an extraordinary ability to turn hard-won international business acumen into straight shooting, no bullshit business advice. All of it gold. I've been talking to Mark a fair bit lately, and he's just brilliant. So yeah, good on you, Mark. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Okay, anybody else, if you've got an event you're running or you've got a shout out for somebody you've been working with, let us hear about it now. Jacqueline.
Yeah, a shout out to Mike as well. He's been helping me with social media, doing videos, and get ready to post as well to promote our Magic Water business. Thank you.
Excellent. Martha.
I have Finding Love webinar coming up on the 8th of the 8th. So if anyone's who's looking for new relationship or looking onto online dating and then they're struggling with it, feel free to actually come and join me. I'll put the link into the chat there.
Excellent. It reminds me of an event I ran a little while ago, which was for a dating group, which was how to avoid the psychopath and other practical dating tips. We had a lot of fun
I'm
with
sure
that
we will have so many people want to jump onto that one.
Yeah, we should have a talk at some stage, Martha, about that, see what we can
great.
do. And that's the thing too, there's a great opportunity for everybody here to collaborate with each other. At the moment with Faith and I have been talking, we did a discussion the other day, video recorded it, and looking at with her safety work and with my profiling, how they can work together and going out and talking to industries about how we can work together with them. At the same time, with Dr. Chris and also with Angela, we're co-creating a course now, a program to actually help people as well. So think about the people who are on here, not just as fellow members, but can we collaborate with each other? And even go further than that, can we co-create and create something even greater again? Now, Geoff, did I see you trying to put your hand up there before?
Yeah, I've got a couple. One is shout out for Mark Grant. One of my clients is working with him on some FPOS stuff and is absolutely over the moon with how Grant looks after him. So Grant, well done. And, Mark, sorry, thank you for that. That's really good. Number two, if you want a quick chat, there's a link in the box, and my shameless shout out, promotion, if you like, is I do a 45-minute strategy call with people called a Silver Bullet. I normally charge $550, including GST. If you're a member of BCW, you can get one for $200 plus GST, so $220. It's 45 minutes. It's not designed for big strategic things, but it's designed to get you out of the crap if you're in the crap, or to just help you sort out a couple of issues you may have. So there's a link in there if you would like to take advantage of that. Jay spoke to me and asked me if I would make some more stuff available to the members of the group. So there you go. There's a 45-minute call to help you if you need something. Thanks.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Now, normally people will say, don't forget to save the chat. That's usually a command to forget. So I'm going to say, remember to save the chat, and do it now so you've got it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the breakout rooms, random selection, and we'll run that for about 10 minutes, bringing us up to the half hour. So I'll just create them now, and there we go. Just jump into the rooms and have a good time. Did he go into the... Hey, everyone. Now, was that good time in the breakout room?
Yeah.
Excellent. Hoping to get to know each other at a deeper level.
Yeah,
Well,
it
a,
actually
deep, a
wasn't
deeper
at
food
all.
level, yeah.
We realise we're all pizza fanatics.
We need Jacqueline to give another presentation about water. Whoa.
Oh, dear, dear.
Okay. Well, everybody, we'll see you on the next event. And for those that'll be over in Lake Macquarie tomorrow, I will see you over there.
Great.
Bye,
Thanks,
Bye,
Mark.
everyone.
And
See ya.
I'll catch you all later on. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.